Hi guys, I have got a super quick page in my Life Crafted album today. I'm using the Night and Day Life Crafted kit from Citrus Twist, and there's this floral paper in the kit that I really wanted to use, and it's going to work perfectly for this page because I've had to convert my photos to black and white. I created this little photo strip in Photoshop. It's of Mel and Lily, but it was late at night, so the photo quality is not brilliant. Black and white hides a multitude of sins, guys, so that's always an option if you have some not so great photos. Plus it has the advantage that it goes with basically any color scheme, so it means I can use this floral paper and these photos match perfectly. I've pulled out a couple of the other papers from the kit. There's this kind of shabby chic vintage lacy kind of paper, and I'm trimmed off the piece that has some actual lace on it. I was considering fussy cutting the lace out, but I decided in the end it would be just as easy to go and use one of my border punches. It's kind of a lacy looking edge anyway, and that way it saves myself a little bit of time. Now I also had a scrap of that kind of peachy coloured paper as well, and I've just matted my photo strip with that just to help it stand off this background a little bit. The floral is pretty busy, and even though my photo has a white border around it, I just wanted something else to differentiate it from the background a little bit. Now I decided to tear off the fake stitching that was on this strip. I had experimented with having it on top or having this lacy piece underneath the floral paper. In the end I decided to have it on top, but to tear off that fake stitching and replace it with some actual stitching from my sewing machine. So I lightly glued the two pieces together and then stitched that together a couple of times just with some messy stitches, and then that's going to add just a little bit of extra sort of real texture to the page rather than the fake stitching. I really loved this word magic for my title for this page, but I was a little bit thrown by the color. It's super bright gold. It's really pretty, but it just kind of didn't suit this it's kind of vintagey, kind of shabby sort of color scheme that I've got going. It wasn't sitting right, so I've just left it. I cut it out of the sheet so I could sort of fiddle with it and just see what worked best. I'm going to go ahead and commit to my left-hand page here. I've just stuck down the pattern paper piece to a background. I always have these background pieces pre-cut and ready to go in my folder whenever I feel like creating a page. So these pages do not go into the page protectors, they just sit straight in my album. Each side of the spread is 5 inches by 8 1/4. The other thing I wanted to use on this this spread was some of these chipboard pieces. I love that they kind of have that same sort of shabby, sort of vintage kind of look to them. So I want to use 3 of those to just create 3 little points of interest here. You can see I swapped out a couple, and then I've got one that says PM on the left hand side, and I'm going to tuck that just under my photo strip, which I am adhering with a little bit of craft foam just to give some dimension off that background, and I'm going to add 2 onto my right hand side. Now I had an idea. I think I've seen a few people, but I think I saw it first on Missy Whidden's YouTube channel, to use some gesso to tone down that super goldness. So that's what I'm giving a go. It seemed really sort of slippery on the actual puffy sticker itself, so I was careful and I did give it a couple of coats, a couple of really light coats, letting it dry in between, and it tones down that gold, but you can still see it off the page. And one thing I do when I'm finished this page, after I turned the camera off, is I just used my fingernail just to scratch a few highlights back into the word. So I scratched through that gesso and it lets that super bright gold shine through, and it's just really pretty. You'll be able to see that in those detail shots at the end of the video. What I did was peel off the chipboard sticker that I had already stuck down and just draw a sort of rough guide for where I wanted to type my journaling, and then I ran that just straight through my typewriter. Luckily I hadn't really stuck anything down at that point, and I love how it looks with the journaling being straight onto the background there. And then I went ahead and stuck down my magic word, and I'm just partially stamping one of the little sentiments from the kit so that my whole title says Nighttime Magic. I've adhered those 2 chipboard pieces down properly now, and just to finish off the page, I'm attempting a little bit of splattering with some coral coloured colour shine. This is always my most nerve-wracking part because I'm not great at splatters. I don't want to wreck everything, so I'm going really slowly and didn't ruin anything, so I was super proud. This was a quick page. It took me hardly any time to put together using those beautiful pieces from the kit, and I love how it turned out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.